You know, if your body were a house, it wouldn't be some cheap rental you can trash and walk away from. It would be the only home you'll ever live in. And most people treat it like something temporary. Hi, my dear ones. My name is Mabel Rose Thompson. I am 103 years old, and if the good Lord allows it, I'll be 104 very soon. And I'm going to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. I haven't followed a doctor's advice in over 30 years. Now, don't rush to judge me, and don't click away thinking I've lost my mind. I'm not telling you to ignore emergencies. If your leg breaks, you go to the hospital. If something serious happens, thank God we have doctors. But when it comes to how to live every day, how to eat, how to grow old without falling apart, I stopped handing over that responsibility a long time ago. And I didn't do it out of rebellion. I did it because I was paying attention. I have buried 7 doctors in my lifetime. 7 smart men, educated, respected, degrees framed neatly on their walls, confident voices, expensive shoes. They looked at me, studied my reports, and told me very seriously that I was doing everything wrong, that I wouldn't last. That was decades ago. They are gone. I am still here, sitting in front of you, speaking clearly, remembering everything. So maybe, just maybe, it's worth listening for a few minutes. I was 71 when one doctor, I still remember his face, told me I needed to start medication for my cholesterol. He showed me numbers, graphs, arrows pointing in dangerous directions. He said words like risk and probability and heart attack. I listened quietly. Then I told him something simple. I said my mother lived into her 90s, my grandmother too. They ate eggs every morning, real butter, real meat, no pills. Neither of them died from heart problems. He looked at me like I didn't understand modern science, and I looked at him like he didn't understand life yet. Still, I trusted him enough to try. I took those pills for 3 months, and something inside me started fading. My legs felt heavy, like I was walking through wet sand. My thoughts became slow, foggy, like someone had wrapped my mind in cloth. I didn't feel like myself. And at 71, you know yourself well enough to notice when something's wrong. So one morning I stood in my kitchen, held that bottle in my hand, and threw it away. Not out of anger, out of clarity. I went back to my eggs, my simple meals, my way of living. That doctor passed away a few years later. Heart attack, they said. And here I am, decades later, still thinking clearly, still walking on my own legs. That was the moment I made a quiet decision. I would listen to my body before I listened to anyone else, because my body has been with me longer than any doctor ever will be. Over the years, I watched advice change like fashion. In one decade, they told us fat was the enemy, butter was bad, meat was dangerous, eggs were almost criminal. So people stopped eating real food. They replaced it with low-fat boxes, artificial spreads, sugary things dressed up as healthy. And what happened? People didn't get healthier. They got heavier, sicker, more tired, and suddenly new problems appeared: diabetes, heart disease, all rising, did anyone stand up and say, "We got it wrong"? No, they simply gave new advice as if the old words had never been spoken. Then came the fear of salt. Eat bland, they said. Watch your pressure, they said. I have salted my food my entire life, not that lifeless powder, but real salt from the earth. And today, at 103, my blood pressure is better than many people half my age. Doctors look at my numbers and they go quiet, not because they understand, but because they don't. And that's something most systems don't like to admit. Then came the warnings about red meat. Oh, I've heard them all. Study after study, headline after headline, linked to this, associated with that. Words that sound scary, but don't actually say much. I've eaten beef almost every day for decades, and I stand here without cancer, without disease, with steady hands and a clear mind. Meanwhile, I've watched people who followed every modern rule break down early. Not all, but many. And that makes you wonder, maybe, just maybe, we've been afraid of the wrong things. You see, the biggest story they ever sold us, the one that quietly slipped into every home, was about cholesterol. They made it sound like an enemy living inside your own body. Something dangerous. Something that had to be pushed down, controlled, suppressed. But no one stopped to ask a very simple question. Why would your body create something over and over again if it was truly harmful? Your body is not foolish. It doesn't make mistakes like that. Your brain, the very thing you're using to listen to me right now, is largely built from fat and runs on what they told you to fear. Your hormones, the signals that guide your mood, your energy, your sleep, they depend on it too. Every cell in you, every tiny piece that keeps you alive uses it. And yet, we were told to fight it. I watched friends of mine follow that advice. Good people, careful people. They trusted what they were told, and slowly, I watched something leave them. Their memory, first. Little things, names, dates, familiar places becoming strange. Then their strength. Muscles that once carried groceries, grandchildren, life itself, began to weaken. They called it aging, but I had seen aging before. This felt different. This felt like something was being taken away. I'm not saying every medicine is wrong. I am saying we stopped asking questions. And that is where the trouble begins. Because I have lived through more change than most people can imagine. I was born when the world looked nothing like it does now. No internet, no smartphones, no endless advice pouring into your ears every second. I have watched entire beliefs rise, stand tall, and then quietly disappear. Things doctors once spoke with absolute certainty were later forgotten, replaced, corrected. But the confidence, that never changed. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, if someone keeps changing the map, why are you still following it blindly? I remember thinking, if a man handled my money the way these systems handled health, losing it, recovering, losing it again, I would stop trusting him. So I did. Not loudly, not angrily, just quietly stepped away. And those years that followed, They became the richest years of my life. Not in money, in living. Now, I do have a doctor today. Young woman, kind eyes, sharp mind, and something rare. She listens. When she looks at my reports, she pauses. Not because she's worried, but because I don't fit into what she was taught. My body doesn't behave the way the charts say it should at this age. My mind still steady. My inflammation low. My bones strong. Last year I fell in my garden. Hard fall. The kind that usually ends in a hospital bed at my age. I sat there for a moment, felt the ground, took a breath, and stood back up. Finished what I was doing. No fracture, no drama, just life continuing. She looked at me after that and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." And I smiled, because finally someone said the truth. Now listen carefully. I'm not telling you to fight doctors. I'm telling you to stop abandoning yourself. There is a difference. Over the years, I built my own way of living. Not from books, not from trends, from paying attention. I eat food that feels like food. If it comes from the ground or from an animal, I trust it. If it comes from a factory wrapped in bright colors with ingredients I cannot pronounce, I leave it where it belongs. My meals are simple. Eggs, meat, potatoes, milk that hasn't been turned into something unrecognizable. Not because it's fashionable, because it's familiar. Because humans have lived on it long before anyone wrote a diet plan. Think about that for a moment. If something has been eaten for thousands of years, and generation after generation survived, had children, continued life, that is the longest study you'll ever find. But something invented a few decades ago with a list of ingredients longer than a paragraph, you are the test subject, and most people don't even realize it. I don't take pills just to fix numbers. If someone shows me a number and says it's high, my first question is simple. Do I feel unwell? Is my body struggling? Or is this just ink on paper? Because numbers without context can lead you into fear, and fear is a powerful seller. I trust how I feel, my energy when I wake up, my clarity when I think, my strength when I move. That has been my compass. Not perfection, just awareness. I move every single day, but not the way you see on screens. No machines, no timers, no counting steps like I'm collecting coins. I just live. I walk where the ground isn't perfectly flat. I bend, I carry things, I reach, I pull weeds from the soil. I feel my body working the way it was meant to. Movement isn't something you schedule for 1 hour and forget. It's something that should be stitched into your day quietly, naturally. Your body doesn't need a program. It needs use. And most people, they've stopped using it. Then they wonder why it stiffens, why it aches, why it forgets how to be strong. I've never made movement complicated. And maybe that's why it never left me. Sleep. Now that's something I treat with respect. Not casually, not like it's optional. I sleep when the world softens, when the light fades. My body knows it's time, and I let it. No fighting it with bright screens, no pushing through the night like it's something to conquer. Sleep is not weakness. Sleep is repair. It's when your mind clears out the noise, when your body fixes what the day has worn down, when your memories settle into place. I have never, not once in all these years, felt proud of staying up late, but I have felt grateful every morning, waking up rested. And I can tell you this honestly, people who treat sleep like it doesn't matter pay for it later. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, until one day they don't feel like themselves anymore. Now let me tell you something even more important than food, more important than sleep. People, real people, voices, laughter, presence. My great-granddaughter calls me every week, not out of duty, but out of love. My neighbor comes by. We sit, we talk about nothing and everything. My small circle, my church, my garden friends, they are part of why I am still here. You cannot live long in isolation. You can eat perfectly, do everything right, but if your days are empty of connection, something inside you starts to fade. I have seen it happen. Strong bodies but lonely hearts, and they don't last as long as you think. Connection is not extra. It is essential. As real as the food you eat, as necessary as the air you breathe. And then there's something people rarely talk about anymore. A reason. A reason to wake up. Not a big one. Not something the world applauds. Just something that calls you forward. For me, it's my garden. It's the letters I still write by hand. It's teaching a child how to read. It's listening when someone needs to be heard. Nothing grand, but deeply meaningful. I have never lived a day where I didn't have a reason to get out of bed. And I believe that matters more than any diet ever will. Purpose keeps you moving, keeps you alive in a way that no medicine can. Now listen carefully. Stop giving away your judgment so easily. You were not born empty. Your body carries wisdom older than anything written in modern books. It speaks to you through your hunger, your energy, your sleep, your discomfort, your peace. But most people, they've forgotten how to listen. They wait for someone else to tell them what's wrong, what to take, what to fear, instead of asking, what am I feeling and why? I'm not saying ignore everything. I'm saying participate in your own life. Ask questions, simple ones. If someone tells you something, ask why. Ask what happens if you don't follow it. Ask what else is possible. A good doctor will welcome that. A bad one will rush you, and that alone tells you something important. And please, for the love of everything that still makes sense in this world, eat real food, not things pretending to be food, not colorful drinks filled with sugar, not bars wrapped like gifts but filled with confusion. Go back to what your great-grandparents would recognize. Eggs, meat, vegetables from the soil, fruits from trees, milk that hasn't been turned into a science project. This isn't some new idea. This is how humans lived long before we complicated everything. We didn't improve food. We replaced it. And now we're living with the consequences. Every hospital, every waiting room, quietly tells that story. Now, I will say this because fairness matters to me. Medicine has done incredible things. It saved my daughter's life many years ago. A moment of crisis that needed skill, precision, knowledge, and without it, she wouldn't be here. So I am not ungrateful, not at all. But there is a difference between saving a life and trying to manage every part of living. And somewhere along the way, that line became blurred. Normal aging became something to fix. Natural feelings became something to label. And life itself started being treated like a condition. That is where I stepped back, not out of anger, out of understanding. And now, at this age, I sit with a kind of peace that is hard to explain. I don't know how much time I have left. None of us do. But I know this. I did not spend my later years sitting in waiting rooms. I did not spend them counting pills, worrying about side effects, living in fear of numbers. I spent them living. In my garden, with my family, with people who know my name, not my file number. I slept when my body asked me to. I moved when it felt right. I ate what I trusted, and I listened, not perfectly, but honestly. And all those voices that told me this will shorten your life, well, they are gone. And I am still here. Not perfect, not untouched by time, but whole. And if there is one thing I would leave you with, it is this. Your body is not your enemy. It is your oldest companion. Treat it with respect. Listen to it. Care for it simply. And don't be so quick to hand it over to someone else. Because a long life is not built in a clinic. It's built quietly, every single day, by the choices no one is watching.